6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Jack Bishop's Intersection, tonight at midnight Eastern on GabNet. The Ramble with Alex Bennett, tonight at 10:30 Eastern on GabNet.
We're GabNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First, on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, it's The Exchange with Damian Chaplin.
Well, I wish California would just kind of like break off on its own, you know. And I don't mean like secede from the United States. I mean like physically break off from the United States.
And float away. Well,
yes.
That might happen someday.
Yes.
Oh no, we're going in the other direction. We came from the ocean. We're heading over. We're heading east.
Aren't we sliding up?
Tuesday through Friday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, it's Alex Bennett with The Ramble.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. What's going on down there?
I was looking at the map, and the whole southern end, there's really low counts down in the southern United States, and then Mexico only had like 2 or 3.
They sent all of their infected up here.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
Oh, Amazon has told its suppliers, don't send us anything that is not essential. We want medicines, we want foodstuffs, we want cleaning supplies. Your goddamn Bluetooth can wait till this is over.
If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Marcus Pouncey, one of the black offensive linemen for the Steelers, was the guy who went after Myles Garrett and was the one who was stomping him and punching him in the end zone when he was on the ground.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before.
Jack Bishop's Intersection, tonight at midnight Eastern on GabNet.
Alex Bennett has been in broadcasting for 65 years, and in all those years he has never run out of new ideas to play with the medium. Until now. Yes, Alex admits that he has run out of ideas at 80 years of age. So, from here on in, it will be the same old thing, which, considering his last great invention of the Citizen Panel, isn't half bad. It's a group of callers at the same time batting around the day's news and looking at social issues that affect us all, and best of all, arguing with each other. And then there is Alex himself, always the hypochondriac who hates Trump and a lot of other things that an old man complains about. And complains about. And complains about. Join America's old fart as he doesn't get any younger, Tuesday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Spotify has 180 million monthly users and access to 35 million songs and podcasts. Now, all those offerings are going to have to move over and make room for GabNet programming. Yes, at long last, Alex Bennett's Ramble, Damian Chaplin's Exchange, Jack Bishop's The Intersection, and even the franchise MC's Arena and Michael Snyder's weekly movie reviews will be fighting for space on this massive platform. Each day, the programs are updated, so you can hear them on the Spotify app, available for all smartphones and game consoles. Or you can just go to Spotify on the web at spotify.com. So, give us a shot on Spotify. There's a 35 million to 5 chance we'll get people to listen to talk like they've never heard it before.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this podcast.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yes, this is the Ramble. I'm Alex, and we go until midnight tonight on the eastern coast of the United States of America from New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, on the other end of the line is Larry Bubbles Brown, who said he's afraid when he hears the word files.
Files, yes.
Why?
Because I know it's going to say in computer jargon, it means something I can't deal with. Last year I got a handheld tape recorder, and I thought, this can't be that hard. Then I looked at it. It said something about files, and nothing worked. I remember I just smashed it against the wall. That's how.
Was it all digital? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it wasn't recording on tape. It was recording on a file.
Yeah. So
why didn't you just?
I couldn't figure it out.
Why didn't you just call me? Why didn't you just call me and we would have worked you through it, Larry Bubbles Brown?
I guess I could. So someone gave me an old cassette recorder. So.
Oh, really?
That replaced it.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? Okay. All right. You know what most people would do with a cassette recording?
Yeah.
They would put it into a file.
It's got 3 buttons. I think play, record, stop. I like that.
Yes, but where can you use it? Well, you just use it for yourself so you can hear what you've done.
Yeah, right.
You put it. A lot of comedians go on stage and they put their cassette machine on the stool and record their set so they can later go back and listen to it, right?
Yeah, well, this is last year. I did that album last year, so I had to record stuff and try to remember everything. And
I see.
But I'm now getting played on Sirius. So.
You're getting played on Sirius?
I've got 4 tracks of the album apparently getting played, so.
Oh, okay.
Waiting for the money to come in.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Not if it's playing on Sirius XM. You know.
They pay pretty well. It's $49 each time a track is played, is what I've heard.
That seems a little high.
That seems very high because all the internet plays play less than a penny. So.
Yeah, I don't think it'll pay $49. I think that what happens is you're recording, and so they just buy a license to play anything that's on a recording. And then it's up to the various organizations that administer that to pay you. And I don't know if it's $49. That seems
that seems really high.
Listen,
to me,
I love you, Larry, and I think you're one of the funniest people alive. But I wouldn't pay $49 to play.
Yeah, well, they get.
Have you seen a check yet?
I'm waiting because I'm getting paid quarterly, so I'll get the first check this month. So I'll find out. But I do know some comics that make $3,000-4,000 a month off Sirius.
Really?
Yeah.
And who are they?
People you never heard of.
Really?
Yeah, so I thought, well, maybe there is some money. But
maybe there is.
$49 to me seemed, wow, that can't be possible, but that's what I heard.
Yeah, it doesn't seem possible either, but what the hell? You know, take them for every penny you can.
Yeah.
You know. You know. But so the album, you've never talked about the album or plugged it here on the program.
No, you know me.
Which means you're really non-aggressive about your career.
I'm passive-aggressive.
Passive-aggressive. So tell us about the album, Larry.
Yeah.
Where can we find it? It's on a file somewhere.
You know, I don't even know where to send people to find the thing.
Really?
I've got 50 copies. If someone wants, I'll send them one.
Well, wait a minute. 50 copies of what? A CD?
I have a CD, yes.
Oh, really? Do you know what
it is? Okay, you can get me on Amazon and.
Well, let me look you up here. Hold on a second.
I think I'm on Spotify, all those platforms that I know nothing about.
Oh, really? Because we're on Spotify.
Someone told me that they said play on what's Alexa. If you say play Larry Bubbles Brown, I popped up.
All right, hold on a second. Echo, play Larry Bubbles Brown.
Shuffling songs by Larry Bubbles Brown on Amazon Music.
Well, there you are.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, listen.
You know why I stopped you? I said because I'm black.
Yeah, there you are. Let me see. Yeah. Echo, stop.
Stop.
Yeah, and it says dating, and then it says explicit. I didn't know you were an explicit comic.
No, actually, the entire album, it's clean, except there's one track where I do the thing I used to do with Ruben, dueling porn titles. That's the only thing on there that's really dirty. So.
Yeah, but it says that this particular cut, called dating, is explicit. And then it says your album is explicit. Yeah, I don't think so either. But yes, you're there. But I'll show you how important that is. Echo, play Alex Bennett's Ramble.
Playing Alex Bennett's Ramble from Apple Podcasts. Playing the latest episode, Alex Bennett's Ramble, December 8th, 2020.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, there we are. There's our show. Echo, stop. Okay. So there you go. You and me, we're going to make Amazon sell so many of those Alexas. I say Alexa because I don't say the real name of it, because then that's the word I use to make it go. Well, hold on a second. Let me ask Echo something here. Hold on a second. First, I want to see here. I want to get this louder. Okay. Echo, Larry Bubbles Brown.
This might answer your question. According to Wikipedia, Larry Bubbles Brown is a San Francisco-based, deadpan, self-deprecating comedian and actor. He started doing stand-up in San Francisco in the early 1980s. He began appearing on numerous TV shows such as Evening at the Improv, Make Me Laugh, and others, and made his first appearance on Late Night with David Letterman in 1987.
Okay, so you hear that? See?
Yeah,
that's actually that's your Wikipedia thing.
Yeah.
So bad. But anyway, so Amazon knows who you are.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos, he owes us money.
Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, you know.
Thought we were going to talk about death on this.
Oh yeah, let's talk about death.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was going through my almanac again last night. I started looking at famous people. Some of these famous people. You know, Humphrey Bogart died when he was 57.
Really?
That scared the hell out of me.
Yeah. Oh well, but he had a good life.
He had a great life, I would think.
Yeah. Except being married to that bitch, you know.
Which one?
Bacall.
Oh, is she a bitch?
Oh, supposedly she was the queen of bitches.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. My ex-wife, Ronnie, who did a pre-interview with her for Barbara Walters, said she was one of the most unpleasant women she ever met. You know. So, well, yeah, there you go. But anyway, so Bogart died at what?
57.
Wow. Well, you know, when you were a kid, did you ever worry about dying?
I realized that we were going to die, so that got me really depressed, like in first grade, yeah.
Yeah, and then because when I first thought about it, it just scared the crap out of me that someday the reward I get for being born is that I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And I had to look forward to that. Now, if I were a aesthetic person, or what do we call it, a touchy-feely person, I would say, well, it's just part of life. But that doesn't explain it to me. I don't want to die.
Right. And I remember asking my mother about death because it scared me, and she said, well, the standard crap. Well, when you die, then you go to heaven and you live forever, and that made me even more depressed. Something about being in heaven forever seemed very depressing.
The thing that my father said to me was, well, you won't find death surprising. You've been there before.
Exactly.
There was a time when we didn't exist, and then that started bothering me.
It's just non-existence.
Yeah, it's non-existence, and I don't understand non-existence. The other day I was saying, let me go back. Let me try and remember what it was like before I was born. Because there's something going on in the womb that you got to, maybe you're playing cards with the uterus or something like that. I don't know. But I can't remember anything, I think, before I was about 4 or 5. I bet you remember earlier, right?
I have a memory when I was 3 years old, our dog bit me. So that's my first memory of life.
Okay. Is your dog biting you?
At 3 years old.
Have you been afraid of dogs ever since?
I have, and they had to get rid of the dog.
Oh, really? What did they do?
Yeah.
Put him down?
No, they just gave him to somebody else. But he was I was new, and he was jealous. So.
Yeah, well, they put the dog down. They told him they liked the cat better. I barely remember almost drowning. I drowned in some water, and I remember bubbles all over my face. That's all I remember. But I think I was like about 5 then, 4 or 5. So
are you afraid of water now?
No. I was afraid for a while, and then one day my father said, well, to hell with it, and he pushed me in the pool, and I started swimming, and after that, you couldn't get me out of the water.
Okay.
So I love swimming. I can't remember that. There's a movie coming out called Soul. It's a Pixar picture. And it's about a jazz musician who dies, goes to heaven, finds a way out of heaven, and winds up somewhere else. And that somewhere else is the great before.
I like that.
In other words, now you're not going to the great beyond.
Yeah.
You came from the great beyond. Now you're in the great before. And this is where all the pre-babies are. And I like that concept of the great before.
That's a great concept, yeah.
But I still don't understand it. It still doesn't make me calmer. And every morning I wake up and I say, is this the day I'm going to die? What is this thing I have on my eyes are burning today? It's a brain tumor and it's going to kill me. Because you're always trying to figure out. I said to my doctor, when I was going to get the radiation and stuff, and he said, yeah, you have prostate cancer. I said, is this going to kill me? And he looked at me with a quizzical look on his face and went, no. But, I just think, to me, life has been constantly out to get me. Is that a bad way to feel?
Pretty much the way I feel, yeah.
Yeah. And, I think one time, didn't we talk about famous last words of people?
Yeah.
I think it was Marlon Brando who said on his deathbed, so that was it?
No, he talked about, not on his deathbed, but he said one day you'll be on your deathbed and you'll look back over your life and go, what the fuck was that all about?
Yeah, that was it. And you know something? It's true.
He's right. He's so right.
I mean, really, I look back at my life, and I've had a pretty good life, I mean, I could gripe about it, but there are a lot of people who had bad lives, and I would be demeaning them. But I say, what the hell was that all about? It was a useless exercise in peddling for, right now, almost 81 years, doing basically busy work and pursuing things that really don't have any you don't have any reason to have to pursue. Is any of this making sense?
Yeah, but I think you're But you should be. I think you've had a very cool life. So.
Yeah, so that's why I want to keep living it. You know.
Yeah, you've been in the public eye for what 60 years.
Well, a little less than that because I haven't been in the public eye for quite a while now. So what the hell. Hey, we've run out of time, and we just were getting to the most depressing part of this discussion.
Yeah.
Jeez almighty.
We can pick up depression next time.
Larry, I think we bring people up to a level that they haven't been brought to because they feel better about life because feel so miserable about ours.
Yeah, they go, whoo, it could have been us.
Ooh, it could have been us. Hey, Larry, talk to you in a couple of weeks.
You got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry, yes, they call him Larry Bubbles Brown. Have a good time, Larry. Stay safe. Stay safe.
Available on Echo.
Yeah, okay.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love talking with Larry. I hope you all feel a little better about things because we're so positive. Today I'm trying to clean the top of this, see? So you see my hand like that. Bennett, don't do stuff like that while you're on the show. Today is my 81st birthday. It's my 81st year here on Earth. I just I don't know how to take it. I all day, people, to begin with, part of the thing about being my age and having a birthday is that you get all these well-wishers on Facebook. And then you suddenly realize that everybody that was on your list gets a message, hey, today's Alex Bennett's birthday. Why don't you wish him a happy birthday? And so I get like 400 of them, okay? And it's very nice, but I feel compelled to go through the list and look at every one of them. And occasionally I even make a comment to somebody who I haven't talked to in a long time. But it was ex-girlfriends and radio people I had worked with, and then just people I don't even know. Okay, but if you're one of those people who sent me a well wish or whatever you sent me, I want to thank you. It's very nice of you to have done that, and it is much appreciated. Okay. Anyway, where am I? Gee, my eye has all kinds of gook in it here. I'm getting old, so I'm oozing from every portion of my body. Okay? Yeah, getting old. Ain't for sissies, as Betty Davis once said. Let me see here. Let me just admit everybody to the program, and then we'll go over and see them all as they're coming in here. Yep, there we go. There's our initial panel. The rest of you out there, if you want to join us, you just go. If you don't know how to get to us, you just go over to gabnet.net. That's our website. Gabnet.net is the address for the email. And then over on the right-hand side of the page, in the right-hand column, about the middle of it, it says, click here to Zoom our program or whatever. It has a big word Zoom there, and you just click on that, and it'll take you right to it. I've been testing it for the last couple of days for one reason or another, and it's very simple to do. So anyway, hello to Jeff. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Good evening. Happy birthday to you, too.
Thank you very much. Hello, Charlie. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Good. And let's see here. Brian Neary. Happy
birthday. My Vietnamese friends say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So happy birthday.
And Trucker Steve, it always looks like he's in like a break room at some office somewhere because the back of his truck is so nice. That's really nice. But where are you?
That's the top bunk there.
That's the what?
Second back
down.
Oh, I see. That's the bunk. Okay.
Oh.
So it comes down. And where are you tonight, by the way?
Still in the same place where I was. I was doing my 36-hour break.
Oh, wow. Okay, you got to do 36
It's
hours.
actually almost done, but I'm not leaving in. I don't like driving through the night.
Right,
So.
right. And, of course, your dog is with you as well, Rocky. And with us is Chaz Luvens, ladies and gentlemen, also known as John Larkin. Hello, John.
Hey,
How are you?
Hey, Alex. Hey, how's it going?
It's going okay. It's going good. I can't complain.
I had like a little second bout of pneumonia for about a week.
Did you really?
But I think it was just like when the original pneumonia happened, it wasn't like a flu. I didn't have like a chest cold. I just couldn't breathe. And then it kind of went away after I got out of the hospital. And then I had the cold part come back and I was coughing stuff up.
Oh, boy.
So maybe it was just, the second part of it.
Are you sure you didn't have COVID and this is just the slap back on that?
They did a test and I was negative, so
yeah. Well, they do a test on me and I'm always negative, but that's just my personality they're talking about there. Anyway, by the way, here comes Alan, and I wonder where Robert's been. We haven't seen Robert in about a week.
Oh.
I hope he's okay. It's always when we hear from somebody every night and then all of a sudden we don't hear from them that I start worrying about them.
Figure it's the end, huh?
Yeah. What was Robert's last name?
Natal.
I'll have to get a hold of him after the show, write him a note, and say, "You okay? We just want to make sure you're okay."
Jeff, were you there last night?
What?
You were there last.
But then I had some computer problem.
Yeah, Jeff wasn't on last night.
Well, he wasn't on last night. Yeah,
I noticed.
I wondered where Jeff.
Hello,
was.
everybody.
And there's Alan, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, who's becoming kind of a new regular here. And
Well, I figured we were going to have some birthday cake with you or something.
yeah, no way. Here's the thing, okay? I am trying to diet, go back on my diet, my low carb diet, and every time I do, Marjorie turns around and throws something in front of me that I can't refuse. And tonight it was dinner. She sent out to our favorite restaurant for dinner, and so she orders, among other things, a pasta dish with a bouillabaisse sauce. It's just wonderful over there. So I had to have a little bit of that. And then she says, "Oh, and by the way, he sent a birthday gift for you, and it was a dessert." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll try a little bit of it." It had this chocolatey stuff on top, and then underneath was this white stuff. I don't know what it was. I think it turned out to be cheesecake. I couldn't stop eating it. And I told Marjorie, "Listen, will you just keep this stuff away from me?" Then she goes up to Stu Leonard's, and she comes back with 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 giant packages of Stu Leonard's potato chips, which are to die for. I mean, they're these humongous potato chips that they cook themselves at Stu Leonard's, and it's just amazing. But I keep telling her, will you please stop this? Now, luckily, I haven't gained any weight, but I'm waiting for the pants not to fit anymore. I just sent off for 38s just to be on the safe side. You know?
Oh,
yeah, when they're expandable, it's worse.
What?
When they're expandable, like sweats, it's even worse because you don't notice the weight gain.
Well,
until you put on something that has a belt on it, and you have to go that loop, the little hole you never went to.
Well, I ordered these pants from the Gap that said they had kind of a something flex or whatever. So I got the 38s in the something flex, and they were fine, except I didn't like the color of the pants. So I sent away for another pair, and then I ordered kind of the wrong pair, and I got teal pants, which Marjorie says makes me look like I'm doing janitorial work. And so then I sent away for another pair of what said they were the Gap Flex or something they call it, and these things don't stretch at all. I kind of like that little extra give, that I had in there, but luckily it fits okay, so...
Are you sure they weren't stretched out already from you?
No.
They wouldn't go anymore?
No, it's just like it feels like a stretchable fabric. And they didn't have it in these. And it said so. It said it was the Gap Flex or whatever, and it didn't have it. So anyway.
Yeah. I cook for the kids, and then when mommy comes home, I already ate something small. When mommy comes home, she's all, "Hey, just finish this from the kids. Finish this, and I'm all, "No, no, 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 no."
Oh boy, yeah, yeah.
Were you on early? I mean, it's just 8 o'clock here, or
well, we went on. No, we went on, but we had our 15 minutes with Bubs, and then I did a little bit of talking, and then about 5 of the hour, I started taking the calls. So you know, sometimes I have a 25-minute interview if it's like somebody like Will Durst or somebody like that, but most of the time it isn't. But anyway, so I'm wearing my 1939 T-shirt here, but I just ordered 2 new sweat T-shirts that say 81 years on them. So I'm going to keep buying those until I'm not around to buy them anymore.
Yeah.
You know. But I just, you know, I mean, she just keeps, and then she says, you know, you really should get on the bike. That's her excuse. Get on the bike.
Get on the bike.
All right. Which I would love to do, except I just don't like the way the seat feels on my ass. It's a little.
Well, that's your. Huh? Tell her to get a new seat for your birthday gift.
Well, yeah. No, she
instead of all that food.
She bought this seat that you can put on there, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help. You know, what I really need to do is have somebody come in and work out for me. I think that's my idea of right, Alan.
Absolutely, it's worked for me. Look, here you can see that I'm no small. Changing the thing. I'm no small guy. I'm like over 300 pounds, 6 foot tall. I would love to lose weight, and so I changed from drinking Gatorade to diet Gatorade, and I get punished by my doctor for that.
Why do you get punished by your doctor for?
Because the diet drink is not supposed to be as good. Don't worry about that. That's the housekeeper. Just by here. So it's actually my roommate.
It's who?
Into the kitchen. My roommate.
Oh, your roommate. Okay.
I got a roommate. I've been here for 25 years.
Oh, really?
So I'm stuck with him. He's stuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, he hates Trump too, so we're okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's good.
So you approved me on Facebook today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you asked to be, and all of a sudden 3 people dropped off of my Facebook page. So I immediately had the room, so I said, I will. I pushed a button here. See, I just touched something and something goes wrong. Hold on, let me turn this off. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's very, very easy to approve people. You know.
Well, on my Facebook, it doesn't say my name. I mean, it says Al Cigar Dude. I'm giving it away, but that's okay. I don't care.
Well, if anybody gets a message from Al Cigar Dude, they'll know it's you.
That's right. That's right. And I got a picture of my boxer dog instead of my face. I'm trying to stay stealth. I really don't like Facebook. And so my birth date is a couple days off on Facebook. It doesn't have a lot of information about me. And, unlike you, Alex, I only have like 85 friends on Facebook. I want to know all these people. I want to know.
Well, unlike you, I have about 5,000 friends on Facebook, but in reality, I don't know any of them. You know, what's happened is in our society, we have taken terms and cheapened them. And the term friend has been cheapened by Facebook. Absolutely. Right? I mean, come on, who's a friend? I mean, when people say, how many best friends do you have? You know, like it's some kind of race you're on. And I go, 1. And they go, 1? I said, yeah, 2 others died. You know, I mean, it's not like I immediately consider anybody that I've met my friend. You know, a friend is somebody who calls you up in good times, calls you up in bad times. You discuss it, you know, you're there for each other. And how many of those do we really have? But yet we say, oh, I've got 5,000 friends on Facebook. Well, boy, that really cheapens the term friends. Yeah. The other word they cheapen a lot is the word genius. Mm-hmm. Oh, that Steven Spielberg is a genius. And my answer to that is that's going to be a little bad. That's going to be bad news for Albert Einstein. You know, I mean, we cheapen all these terms. We take away their meaning. and it's not right.
Somebody in the media asked Donald Trump a couple years ago what the J in his name, Donald J. Trump was, and he said it stands for genius.
Did he really?
Yes. And so, of course, it's spelled with a G and not a J. But
yeah. Well,
he actually probably believed.
Well, you don't have to be a good speller to be a genius. Okay.
That's right. Absolutely.
He'll say he was just joking after he finds out it's wrong.
Yeah.
Fake news. Fake news.
Fake news. Yeah. Fake news. Fake news. Definitely fake news. But I just so I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm 81. How did I get this far? And everybody goes, oh, congratulations. People, they say, if I were at a comedy show or something, the comedian said, oh, and you, how old are you? And I'd go 81. The audience would applaud. Like this was some kind of achievement, which it isn't. Clearly, all you did is you didn't die.
That's right.
And that's not something you go out of your way to do just to accomplish something. So yeah, it's been applaud for me. I'm 81 years old.
I missed the statistics from Charlie. Did we get those?
Well, I was going to go to Charlie with that next because Dr. Doom, who is a nightly guest on our program, and I had a theme song for him, but I can't play it anymore because they demonetized me over there on Facebook, on YouTube. Well, I wish I didn't have to deal with YouTube. I wish I didn't have to deal with Facebook. I wish I didn't have to deal with any. I wish I didn't have to deal with you guys. Okay, all right. I'll be very honest about this. No, just kidding. Are any more people going to call tonight? We're here. We're doing our show. Anyway, where was I?
2007.
What? Oh, Charlie. Oh yeah. So anyway, it's time now for Charlie to give us the count and the amount because he keeps these statistics going.
Yeah, there are 239,000 COVID cases today. We're over 17 million now. And there were 2,700 deaths.
2,700. Well, that's less than yesterday.
Finally under 3,000. Hey,
going down.
It was more like 3,500.
Well, that's the good news. The bad news is the reason it's gone down is there are fewer people who were able to die.
That's partly true.
I mean, here in New York we had 120, I think, yesterday.
I'm positive.
But some of our statistics are going down a little bit. But I mean, it's not that things are getting better. I just heard that we got a whole bunch of people, like 29 million of them, who've decided to take airplanes for the holidays coming up.
Yeah. Well, this boom we're having now is from Thanksgiving. It's going to be over 300,000 in 2 weeks after Christmas.
I'll be glad when the holiday season is over with. Number one, because I don't have to worry about giving gifts anymore, and I'm cheap, so I don't like giving gifts. And there's a pressure of the holidays, and there's a pressure to have, for instance, pressure for gifts on Christmas, and a pressure to eat on Thanksgiving, and then the pressure to have a good time on New Year's Eve. How many here have ever really had a really good time on New Year's Eve? Yeah. Really? Okay, let's hear about your good times on New Year's Eve. Let's start with Brian.
Hold on. Let me make sure the door's shut. I used to go to Vegas all the time with my friends, and they were big DJs there. So yeah, I had a great time a lot of the time. So.
What are you trying to say with the door closed? Something your wife wouldn't want to hear?
I was in Vegas a lot. Yeah. No. Yeah. I was. Yeah. So I used. Yeah. So those nights were fun.
Was this accompanied by a great deal of sex?
No, actually not.
Really?
Not a great deal.
Really?
No, it was just when I used to go to Vegas, we used to party. We knew a lot of big people there, so it was fun.
Yeah. How about you, Al? You, Alan? You said.
Well, yeah. It was a good time to take your girlfriend out, open some cheap champagne, which I hate. I like French champagne. But if she didn't understand the French champagne, go with the cheap stuff. get her drunk, and spend hours in bed doing things you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
So it's I find that there's no women on this thing right now. I find that women are looser when they're drunker. So, take advantage of the time. No headaches. Not till the morning, at least.
Not till the morning. How about you, John? You said that you had a nice New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Well, it was like a first date, and I ended up getting married to her. So it was a memorable thing.
Are you still married to her?
No.
Well, how good could that have been then?
That was good. We're still friends, but it was.
Yeah.
It was good memories.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the only good New Year's Eves I ever had, where I used to do a show on New Year's Eve, somewhere, and in the last couple of years I did it at the Palace of Fine Arts in San Francisco every year. And I would walk a block, essentially, from my apartment to the Palace of Fine Arts. I walked a block to work. And when I left there, I was about $10,000 richer. So that's why I liked New Year's Eve. Okay,
that's a good reason.
Yeah. Otherwise, that was my New Year's Eve for years. I mean, I didn't. I would have a party afterwards. I'd bring people back to my place and we just hang out.
Remember those Christmas things you did at Bimbo's?
Those were Supper Schwartzmans. They're called.
Yeah. I went to a couple of those.
Yeah. We did Bimbos, and we did those also at the Fairmont Hotel, the Venetian Room, for a couple of years. Yeah. And
Right, whatever happened to Dick Wright? Remember?
He's still around. Yeah. The band business hasn't been doing that well lately, so here comes a Ray Renati, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here if he notices that I just clicked him in. There we go. Well, there's his ceiling.
That's part of him.
Huh? Yeah.
He's got an Eichler house at that.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Wait a minute. Somebody brought this up. Is that an Eichler house you live in?
It's an Eichler house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Palo Alto has Eichler houses.
Absolutely.
Well, somebody better explain to the rest of the country who's listening what an Eichler house is.
I can give you a tour.
Yeah.
You can?
If you want.
Well,
yeah, I have my little laptop here.
Oh, okay.
What are you wearing?
A beanie.
A lot of them had exposed beanie.
Explain Eichler Homes. Eichler was a guy who, right after World War II, I think it was, built these, shall we say, affordable homes.
Right.
And for the most part, he also made custom ones that are really nice. There's a few in Palo Alto, and there's a bunch of them in Sunnyvale and Marin.
Yeah.
Super nice.
But these houses that were in these tracks were pretty much the same house. You just held them, the blueprints up to the light from either from the front or the back, There's
like 5 different styles.
Yeah.
Sort of mid-century, right? Mid-century type of look.
Yeah, I like see big windows.
Mm-hmm.
Although these aren't the original, of course.
But it's big atriums in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have an atrium, though. Some have atriums.
No.
Yeah.
An atrium in the middle. And then weren't they called kind of A-frames? Didn't they have an A-frame style?
Yeah.
Some of them.
See, the ceiling is A-frame-ish.
Yeah.
I'm at flat roofs, too.
Yeah.
Totally
in the
flat,
kitchen.
though.
Yeah.
You live in Palo Alto? Do you live in Palo Alto?
He asked. We just lost your audio, I think.
Yeah.
Me? You lost my
there,
audio?
there we go. There we go. He asked you if you live in Palo Alto.
I do. I do live in Palo Alto.
What street?
I'm not going to say that on here.
I'm just wondering. Yeah. Because I know Palo Alto.
What's interesting about those Eichler homes is they were built in the 50s, and that one looks to be in pretty good shape. It's not like a
modeled it like crazy. I mean, the kitchen is all brand new.
Oh, okay. So you did some remodeling, but I mean, it has the structure of the building remained fairly stable.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
We had a bunch of them in Burlingame too, where I live.
Yeah.
Hello, Glenn.
But the big problem with them though is there's no subfloor and there's no attic.
So you can't rewire or repipe anything without like doing conduit.
No.
Didn't they also have what was called?
Well, we got a new heater.
Yeah.
And we also have copper pipes, so it still works.
Yeah, well, they had radiant heating, didn't they?
We have it, and it works great, but that's because ours has copper pipe. A lot of them they made with galvanized steel, and it oxidized. And then we also bought a new pump for a ton of money, so it reaches all the way to the back of the house.
But what would happen, folks, in case you don't know what radiant heating was, the floors were heated underneath by copper.
I love it.
Copper pipes, and it kept you good and toasty. You know, I don't know.
But here in Palo Alto, like half the houses they did with galvanized steel pipes, and so people don't have the radiant heat anymore because it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
With the pipes.
But yours still does. Is it economical?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it works great. Well, we spent a lot of money on a new pump. It's in the garage. It was about 20 years ago. It was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Works perfectly. Nothing ever has gone wrong with it.
Yeah, Eichler homes were very famous homes, folks. So, you know.
They're awesome. I mean, you feel the light is incredible. Yeah, I mean, just so much natural light all day long.
They got some really nice big ones up on the hill too.
Yeah.
I've been up a few of those, like up in the Woodside Hills and up in the Burlingame, Hillsborough area. I used to go some in Hillsborough. Like, geez,
that's a different standard of construction.
Yeah.
Well, you know, every town in the United States had somebody who built buildings right after the war to accommodate all those people who wanted to buy a home, you know, because this was after the war. People were coming back from the war. They wanted to, have a home, move out into the suburbs or whatever. Here in New York, Levittown was kind of an example of that kind of thing, where the homes are all looked alike, but it was Levittown was affordable living, and so was Eichler. Yeah. How affordable was it for you once you decided to buy it?
Not affordable.
Really? So they went.
Well,
they're over $1 million
4 years ago, in the middle of that first tech boom.
Yeah.
So that was not affordable, but that's when we were both like VPs at companies, so we were able to do it.
Yeah.
But the value's gone up like crazy since then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Willow Glen, they have every time they have one for sale, I go check it out. They're over 1.5, 1.6.
What, Eichler homes?
Just the standards.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even want.
This San Jose area, so.
Wow.
Almost close to 2,000.
So this is what we come to when Trump's term is almost over with. We're talking about Eichler homes, and you know.
There's the first one I ever went to, I fell in love. It was an open house when I was looking for my earlier house. And yeah, it was Asian style. So they had the atrium in the middle with a koi pond and the waterfall. And you could hear that waterfall from every room because they had the hallway that actually.
But my question is, when they were first built, which was, am I right? It was in the 50s, right? Or was it late 40s?
50s, yeah.
50s.
Yeah. How much did they go for?
20,000.
18, 20, yeah.
Between 20 and 30.
Actually, 20,000 was a lot of money then.
Yeah,
they weren't cheap.
Yeah.
They were not cheap.
Yeah, 20,000 is a lot of money back then. I mean, I remember we bought a house in Marin County that was up on a hill, and my parents paid $9,000 for it, you know, and they thought and they took a 35-year mortgage or something on it, you know.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the average income of the average American in those days was about $5,000 a year. But you could live, you were middle class. You could live very well on that.
You could buy a house like that on, like a waitress job. That's what my mom did. She was a waitress, and she bought a house in Sunnyvale in the 60s for like, $18,000. Fucking house is worth $2 million now.
Yep.
I'll tell you how things have changed.
I just looked on Zillow. My house is worth $3 million, $2,299.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't pay that for it, right?
No, not even close.
That's also, and the peninsula between San Francisco and San Jose is crazy. Before I bought this house, I upgraded up to this house.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even touch anything in the peninsula. just crazy. And that's where I grew up. It's just crazy.
Really?
So expensive.
Wow. And you do
So
pretty
expensive.
well.
Yeah, I grew up in Fremont, where I live,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought the house that I'm in when I was 19 for an outrageous sum of $70,000.
Well, wait a minute. Now, how old were you then?
19.
And when was that? What year was that?
That's right.
Well, that's going to take a minute. 1978 or 79, something like that.
Yeah, okay, 78
What
or
were you
79.
doing? What were you doing as a kid for making that payment? That's pretty cool.
I was working in heating and air conditioning.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, oh boy, when I was a kid, the dinosaurs walked the earth. But when I was a kid,
81 years ago.
when I was a kid, my parents bought that house for $9,000 in Marin, and it was a 2-story home on a hill. You know, It was pretty, yeah, and it was a really nice place. I think when my mother left, she sold it for $20,000, and I told her not to sell it. She said, "But they want to give me $20,000 for it. We bought it for $9,000." I said, "Hold on to it. I'll pay the whatever upkeep payments, tax, whatever you need. I'll pay it." "No, I want to get rid of it. Your uncle says I should get rid of it." So she got rid of it. All of a sudden, there was a housing boom in Marin, and within a year or maybe a year and a half, that house became worth $300,000.
Jesus.
Okay? And today, I would imagine that house is somewhere up around $1 million. You know, with that.
No, more than that.
Yeah.
So I paid $70,000 for it, and they're in the next door neighbor, which is a smaller house. I have a 4-bedroom. They have a 3-bedroom. Just sold their house for $1.4 million.
Oh boy! Wow.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
here's a good question. I see. I mean, when I was a kid, I was born in 1939, and everything, you know, was cheaper then. I mean, my father, the most money he ever made in one year was $5,000, and we were a middle class family. You know, we were a middle class family, but what I was thinking was, what did I used to get for an allowance a week? And my parents used to give me 25 cents a week as an allowance. Today, what do you give your kids an allowance, Kevin? Kevin? Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, sorry, I was talking to my kid. He was.
No, I'm talking about, excuse me, not Kevin. I meant Brian.
That's what I thought.
Oh, God, I'm out of it.
The other Kevin.
Brian. First Brian, then I'll ask Kevin. Do you give your kids an allowance?
Yeah, they get about $50 a month, I would say, because they do chores. So they do the chores.
I did chores too, and I got 25 cents.
Yeah, but you can buy more for that.
They do dishes, they do all the stuff, so they get a little dot. Each dot is worth like 50 or 75 cents. So they just accumulate it, and then, yeah.
Really? Son of a bitch. How about you, Kevin? Do you
allowance in general? No, she doesn't get it. She earns it. She'll do chores on her own, but she also earns her own money. She does like crafts and does art, and she sells it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so she does it with her mom. Her mom does a lot of crafts. She does her own jewelry, and she'll go in a booth. Like the last couple of weeks, she was doing a boutique, and she made $235 last weekend. So,
wow.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's a little entrepreneur.
It sounds like.
So I just let her run with it.
Hey, Trucker Steve, you don't have any kids, do you? Steve?
No.
No. But so my question, I guess, for you is, when you were growing up, did you get an allowance from your parents?
Yeah, for chores. Also had a paper route.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to work for mine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. We can hear you.
I had a paper route
with
my brother. So it's
yeah,
when I was in school.
yeah. I had a
Isn't
paper.
that funny how?
Like 87 houses.
Isn't that funny how you have a paper route and all of a sudden you end up driving a truck?
Well, no. Here's the thing.
Well, before I was a truck driver, I was a dishwasher.
Yeah.
Well, now I was I did
deliveries all the time.
some newspaper delivery, but I was like a substitute for somebody else. Like when he didn't want to do it, I did it. Okay, and it was for the Independent Journal over in Marin. Do they have delivery boys anymore? Is that still?
No, they're
anything?
trucks. They're cars.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, they're not like they used to get a bunch of kids who had a bicycle, and they would put this bag in front of the bicycle with all the newspapers. They go past the homes and throw them.
Now they load the cars up with 3,000 papers, and they drive by and launch them at your cars.
And they're adults.
And they're adults.
Yeah, they couldn't care less what they hit.
No, but then that was a great way for a kid to earn a living, was being a newspaper delivery boy.
I had a paper route in the morning and a paper route in the afternoon, and then I did sub like you did.
Yeah,
and I subbed for a guy down the street, and we used to play off each other. He'd take mine one day, and I'd take his the other day, and we had to meet the route manager down at the local school. And my paper was a voluntary paper, so it was like you had to go out and collect from the people, and they didn't have to pay. And it was like, you go collecting for the Advanced Star, and they go, "Get the fuck out of here! You're not paying for that piece of shit paper." And then some of them would say, "Oh, that's a great paper. Here's your 50 cents for the month, and here's 50 cents for delivering it." And shit, it was like, you get out of 120 papers you deliver, you get 30 people that would pay for it. You had these quotas you had. And you had to report out to your route manager and try and get beat your quota and stuff. And the route manager was like Louis, the guy from downtown. Hey, how many did you get this week? You gotta get more, kid. You gotta get more, kid.
Yeah, I mean,
I had an examiner when the examiner was expensive.
Yeah.
So I had to go
the Advanced Star. I had San Mateo Times.
I remember growing up as a kid, being in New York, when the newspapers here, I doubt if anybody remembers this price, the newspapers here were 3 cents.
No, it was a little bit before. I think.
And the reason they were 3 cents is because they considered the advertising to be the way they made money. They were just paying back the cost of printing it for 3 cents, if that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was a dime.
In London, they're free every afternoon. All the papers, they just hand papers out to people. It's totally free.
Yeah. We
just
had
for the ads.
We had a newspaper here. It was called the Village Voice, and it used to be like 25, 50 cents a week. And one day they decided we're just going to go free. And what they did is they figured they would sell more advertising if they could pass these things out by the tens of thousands rather than by the hundreds. And they were right. I mean, they did very well for years, but then eventually they went out of business. But a very famous newspaper here in New York.
You didn't have to just fill the papers. Remember we had to get the stacks, and then you had to fold them all.
Yeah.
And then put them in your bag.
And then if it was a rainy day, you had to put them in the bags.
In the bag.
They were usually old leftover bread bags from the bakeries. You had to shove them in there.
Well, no, what happened was they had those bags on a rainy day, but if you were the delivery boy, you had to pay for those bags. And then they would sell you the rubber bands to put the newspapers together.
I remember, they did sell you the rubber bands for 25 cents a bag or something. You had to buy them every once in a while.
Did you ever do the newspaper fold? In other words, where you didn't need a rubber band and it kind of turned into a triangle?
Yeah, and you shove it into the other one,
Yeah, and then that way you could just...
But if you didn't throw it right, it would fly open, and then you'd be pissed off because the neighbors would get pissed off. Paper would fly all over the place.
Yeah, folks, you see what you're learning here? You're hearing from the delivery boys. I mean, when we were kids, that was the one way you could make money.
That was your first job,
And it was slave labor for those newspapers.
It was all about the tips.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Did I get any tips? Well, no, I was just
You always knew the old ladies would give you the good tips. You always put it on the porch and stuck it right by the door so they could reach out and get it. And the old men, you just launch it against the door, so bam, so it hit the garage door or something.
And then I used to babysit for the couple up the hill, and I would go over there and babysit for them and get paid by the hour for that, and hope the kid didn't die, you know, because I just sat there, right?
So I made money off the newspapers without being a delivery kid. I went to the newspaper stand. I put a quarter in and grabbed all the papers and had it out at work for 50 cents a piece or something like that, you know?
You thief! And then you became a cop. My God!
Yeah, did they find that out?
Yeah, well, you know, I wasn't always honest.
Well, you know something? Correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I've known a lot of people who became cops, and when they were in high school, they were the juvenile delinquents.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The juvenile delinquents, it's a prerequisite to be a cop, is to be a juvenile delinquent.
You gotta, you gotta get arrested or detained by the police a few times.
Yeah.
You know, in order to say, God, looks like it'd be a fun job.
Exactly. And this way, they'll never catch me.
Well, I don't know about that.
I know.
I've been at busts. I worked in narcotics. I worked gangs, and I've been at busts where there were, $250,000 in cash and never touched any of it. I mean, I touched it to count it, but never took anything. I was an honest cop. I saw some people steal it.
By the way, juvenile delinquent, if you're going to do that, turn your sound off because we can hear you using the plates.
Sorry, I thought I did.
Oh, that wasn't me. Okay, that was Eichler.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing: you say you would bust people for drugs. What kind of drugs?
At that time, heroin was big, cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, early on, I guess. You know, they make a lot of narcs. I had a baby face, imagine that. But they took me after I got off probation and stuff and made me a narc. And, and I had a baby face and I could barely grow facial hair. I was 24, 25. And, you got to change your terminology. You call it a car, not a vehicle.
Did they ever have you bust people for pot?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel about that?
I'm glad that it's legalizing in most places.
Yeah, but how'd you?
As far as I'm concerned, the war on drugs has failed big time, and so make it all legal.
Well, I mean,
except for maybe meth. Meth makes people go crazy.
Well, look, there are some drugs that are bad, but if they're bad for you, then it's a medical problem. And it should be handled as a medical problem. But
I agree.
I don't know if I could have been a cop, even with all I knew about it, because I go all the way back with pot to, the 70s, late 60s, 60s. Yeah, for pot, mid-60s.
70s.
Yeah. And were you then still busting people for pot when you were smoking it? No.
When I became a cop, I stopped doing drugs.
Oh, okay. But what I'm saying is, but you did the drug before you busted people for it, but then you were busting people for it, but you knew how benign the drug was, because marijuana is pretty benign. You know what?
Well, in California at that time, it was still a felony to be in possession of a joint.
I know.
Some states are still that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is that I think I would have found it very hard to have been a pot smoker and then go and bust people for smoking pot. Because among other things, how benign it is. What's the worst thing that ever happened to you when you smoke pot? Well, I gained a few pounds because I got the munchies.
Right.
And I can see where people might consider sales of certain drugs like heroin and cocaine, although that was one of my favorite recreational drugs at one point.
Imagine that.
And meth and things like that. But dealers were the problem. But a lot of times the dealers were the users. That's how they supplied their habit, was by selling the stuff as well. So,
Nothing's
you know, I mean, everybody was kind of a victim in that situation. But I think that's the reason I could have never been a cop. I could never have busted somebody for anything, because one day I might wind up doing the same exact thing, you know? Yes, John Larkin.
Yeah, the Tenderloin Police Department, they've got a Twitter account.
Yeah.
And and they're always reporting people they bust.
Yeah.
And I was reading it today. They busted this guy with like he had fentanyl, heroin, meth, and cocaine, and he was dealing on the streets, and he had like $10,000 on him and a fucking in a pistol. They busted him. He was out. They let him out on OR before the day was over, and it's the third time he's been busted. I mean, they don't even now that you can fucking do anything in the Tenderloin in San Francisco, and they'll bust you. You'll go to court, and boom, you're right back on the street. It's amazing.
Well,
so you live in San Francisco?
Yeah, in the Tenderloin. Yeah.
Okay, so I have friends that are on the police department there. So the city's very liberal.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the DAs that are coming in are cutting people loose for minor drug offenses. If there was a gun involved, I'm surprised that they cut the guy loose.
I know, especially the third time.
Just the seriousness.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to work in San Francisco.
They don't fucking enforce it. The DA in San Francisco, his parents were members of the what was that terrorist organization in the 60s? The Weather Underground or something like that? What? No, the Weather Underground.
The SLA.
Well, no, the Weather Underground. The Weather Underground.
Whatever it is. Liberation Army, whatever.
No. He's talking about the Weather Underground, which was
before that.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing about the Tenderloin that's amazing is.
Let's explain for a second. The Tenderloin is a district in San Francisco. I don't know how it ever got its name.
I do.
Yeah, how did it?
I do. Because back in the old days, 1860s, 1870s, whatever, it was the best area of the city. Because the weather was always nicer.
Mm-hmm.
The fog didn't reach there. And it's one of the reasons, what I was just going to say, some of the apartment buildings, on the outside, it looks like hell. You go in, they're absolutely beautiful. Like, I don't know what you live in.
Well, the Tenderloin, when I was growing up in San Francisco, was actually the poor part of town. That was that was the scuzzy place to go to.
It still is. I'm talking about in the last,
the reason why it's so bad is it's all city-controlled SROs.
Mm-hmm.
And so the SROs, they call that single-room occupancy. And so it's mainly people that are on the dole that get their rent paid by the city.
Mm-hmm.
So they live in these, and the owners of the apartments let them go to hell. So
because I remember one night, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was going home and I took a right when I should have taken a left, and I went right through what is near the Tenderloin. I don't know what you call the area right now, but that on Saturday night, that's where the hookers stood out there.
Yeah,
plying their trade. I know, but
they're hiding now. Yeah.
Yeah, but they would be just standing out there, and all these guys would be driving up there and talking to them, and you couldn't. The worst part was I didn't mind the hookers, and I didn't mind even the crime aspect of it. What I minded was it blocked traffic. You couldn't get through there. It was like a human traffic jam because all these women are like going up to the cars and talking to the guys, and the guys are talking to them, and they're getting in the cars and giving blowjobs, and I just wanted to get home.
They're all tranny hookers now.
Really?
Yeah, you
unless you go over to over by like where the theaters are. There's high end ones walking the street there.
Yeah,
I've been there so many times, and they.
How do you know this, Ray? How do you know this, Ray?
Because many times I've walked there going to work, and I get stopped like in proposition by beautiful women.
Yeah, you haven't been here for a while, man. It's changed.
Check.
It's pretty rough now.
Oh no! This is before COVID.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how. Yeah, I've seen things on television about how COVID has affected certain professions, like the people who go to games, football games, dressed up as things, how their lives have been impacted by it, and how socially they feel out of the loop. And I'm wondering how this has affected prostitutes, street prostitution. Anytime any of you see a street prostitute, next time ask her how it's going.
Okay.
What if we make them wear a mask?
Yeah, right.
Put a mouth rubber.
Yeah, mouth rubber.
Put a hole in the middle of the mask.
Yeah, right. Yeah. How you doing up there in Connecticut? It was a lot of snow up there, according to Pamela. Pamela told that to Marjorie.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of snow. I don't know. It was, maybe it was 6-8 inches.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was blowing like crazy. So one place it would be like 10 feet thick, and then the other part there was no snow there at all. It would just blow from one direction.
Yeah, well, the other night on the show, you could hear it outside here, hitting the window like crazy.
Yeah, today it looked pretty nice. But the good thing about Connecticut today is a bunch of these old people are starting to get the Pfizer drugs today.
Well, in the nursing homes.
The nursing homes, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I hear that you and I are not going to be able to get it till maybe the end of January.
I don't know.
Or longer.
Have to really.
Well, I'm 81. I should be able to get it soon, because I'm in that age group. But
well, I'm fat and I should be able to get it soon too. But soon is relative. They're putting out millions of doses a day, and now Moderna got FDA approval today, and so that'll be more. But I don't know how many million people there are that are actually willing to get the vaccine, and they're vaccinating healthcare and convalescent people first.
What's interesting is that usually when these things happen, there's always some major fuck up, okay, that they go out and report. Well, you know what the major fuck up is they're reporting?
Sure, he leaves on January 20th.
No, that Pfizer said, whoops, we maybe put 6 or 7 doses in each vial instead of 5. Oops. That's the good news. There are more doses out there than they thought were out there.
Well, that's good.
But Pfizer said they've overfilled them, I think, because maybe people would overuse them or something like that, not exactly do a proper apportioning of it, but that each one could do at least 6 instead of 5, which if you've got 1 million doses out there, how many more doses is that per vial? So
I think they're gonna have a problem when they start getting them the second dose, because you have all these, they have a steady rate of how many people they're able to take care of.
Yeah.
Well, when those people come in for their second one, that's going to go down because they have that second shot for those other people.
Oh, wow.
So that's why they really need to make sure that they keep getting these vaccines approved if they're safe,
Yeah, they have everybody who's getting one is going to be filling out a card. And then the pharmacy or wherever you have it done will then send you a notification, come in and get your other shot.
Yeah, but those next shots have to be prioritized for those people and not the people who are coming next in line.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Why don't you just wait to get the Moderna one? Then you don't got to get 2 shots.
No, Moderna's 2 shots too.
And Moderna's 2 shots.
Yeah,
but
it's the Oxford that's one.
But you can keep it in your refrigerator at home. It's not. It's.
What, you're gonna shoot yourself later in a month or so? Do it yourself?
No, he's just joking.
I wouldn't want to shoot myself.
Yeah. No.
No way. I'm not shooting myself.
Well, you know what?
Like
on television, MSNBC has become the all vaccination all the time channel. It's like every time somebody's getting a vaccination, here's another person who's getting a vaccine, and they take a shot of them getting a vaccination. Today it was Pence. But I look at it and I'm going, I wouldn't show that to the public. And the reason I wouldn't is that needle goes in really far. And I'm sure.
You feel it.
Huh?
It's so skinny.
I know. You don't feel it, and it's very simple. But you still, if you're showing everybody in America, well, this is how deep it goes, you're not exactly
You
saying.
see the guy that was doing Pence too? He was shaking. It was like this. And boom, pokes him. It was like shooting for a bullseye.
Now, here's the thing.
But Pence likes getting poked, so.
Biden is getting his on Monday. Here's the thing. Biden and Jill Biden, Dr. Biden, are getting theirs on Monday, and then Kamala and her husband are getting them a week later. Why is that? Why aren't they getting it at the same time? Is it, oh no, you're the vice president, you have to wait a week?
I think because of the Tuskegee experiment.
The Tuskegee experiment?
The Tuskegee experiment, sorry.
They want to make sure the 5G is working.
He's facing Biden and her.
They want to check his brain.
Get one?
Yeah. Wow.
I bet Trump won't get one. He'll say, no, I'm not going to get it.
So this guy
I can't get him on my phone. Where is he?
This guy posted a video of this lady. She's a nurse and she fainted. She had the vaccine shot, and then 15 minutes later she went and talked to reporters. And when she was talking to reporters, she started feeling really heavy and she actually fainted right there. But then it chopped it. You could tell it sort of stopped that video right there. And my friend posted it and said, "See, Brian, this is why I'm not taking the vaccine." So I went and Googled it, and there was a regular video, and somebody hacked that up. But she says that she faints all the time from any pain. And so she explained that after. But, these guys, they edit all this stuff out, so they're trying to say, oh, the vaccine's unsafe.
I have a son who has to lay down. He has to lie down every time he gets a vaccine because he just passes out no matter what.
Really?
Yeah. He just faints. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, and he's not even really nervous about it, just some kind of physical reaction.
You know what I got really used to? It's funny how you can get used to stuff. When I had last year, I had a couple of years ago, I had the kidney stone. It took me off the air here for about 5 nights. And I got the kidney stone, and I was lying in the hospital. They would wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "Time for your blood draw." And then they would just draw some blood out of me. And then I go back to sleep. And then at 9 o'clock in the morning, go, "Time for your 9 o'clock blood draw." And they just waking me up and doing. And I got to the point where you can draw blood out of my arm now, and I just don't care.
Oh, I had to do it for 6 months, twice a day, when they had me on IVs.
Right, and you got used to it, right?
Go down to the hospital, be on my way to work and on the way home.
Yeah, and then they put a thing in my arm that was attached to a drip for saline, because they were constantly putting saline in my system to flush the kidney stone out. And that thing was in there for many, 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 many days. And after a while, you just don't care. And finally, they go, "Well, are you in pain?" And you always say you're in pain. Never say you're not in pain. And the reason is then you don't get anything. But if you say you're in pain, and then they say, "Well, how much?" From 1 to 10, how bad is the pain? And you go, you don't want to say 10 because they know you're faking it, but you go 9. And so they give you 9 worth of the drug, right? And you're off to la la land. But I called this IV drip that I had in my arm my USB port, because everything they needed to do to me, they would just shove it in through that, and they would add the
You're
the
putting Charlie to
painkillers.
sleep over there.
Huh?
No.
Charlie?
And those are tubes. Those aren't just needles. Those are tubes.
Charlie, are we putting you to sleep?
Yeah, this is all exciting.
I saw you falling asleep, man. You were falling asleep. You fell asleep for like.
I don't blame him. If I were listening to this show, I'd be out like a light by now. So.
I watched the show after the show last night. I wasn't on it, and I've never seen Charlie so talkative.
Well, I get a chance to talk on that show.
Okay, on the Thursday night show.
No, he meant the Thursday night show, last night's show.
Right, last night, yeah.
Last night. I thought you were talking about Jack's
you're
show.
welcome to talk as much as you want to on this show,
I know. I'm just.
You're just quieter on Jack's show, and I don't know why. Or you're quieter on this show than you are on Jack's,
I listened to it one night, and it sounds like a big extravaganza going on. It's like, it's pretty.
Where do you listen to it, on iTunes? I mean, TuneIn or?
Gabnet. Listen.
On the website.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember, Alex, you're the Live 105 comedy show. Sometimes it would be just like 10 comedians just all yelling jokes at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
And then you couldn't even, it was like, what the fuck's going on, you know?
Yeah, I wonder how much any of those shows made sense, you know?
A lot of them didn't. You had to know what people sounded like to know who was talking.
And they're inside jokes.
But I think the reason the show did so well is that I always felt that if I had a station in which you went to it and a bunch of people were just yelling at each other, back and forth, just yelling, and you couldn't understand even what they were yelling about, that would get the highest ratings in town. Because people would go, you know, they come across, they go through everything else. Here's good music, da, 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 and happy talk. Hi, we're here. It's a very pleasant day here in San Francisco. And then you go to this one channel and everybody's going, blah! I think people would stop and listen to that.
Monty and Ruben in one room, that's enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had some.
When you had Bubbles and Feldo, and then you had Bob Rubin, all these guys going at it at the same time, and they're just all laughing so hard because they're doing these inside one-liners that were just, it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know. Those were the good old days when I used to be a big shot. Yeah.
Called entertainment. Right?
Huh?
That's entertainment.
That's entertainment. Sure is.
Yeah. The ups and downs.
Yeah, but anyway, so, you know, today I was just doing a lot of thinking about, you know, when I grew up, when I was born, and where I was born, and my parents, and I don't know, for some reason I thought about that because that happened so long ago, and now.
Dark ages.
You know, and I wondered, I was just thinking about how well it went, and I think I was pretty lucky. I grew up at a time when there was a certain innocence that a kid grew up with that I don't think kids grow up with today. And I don't know, Brian, you know, you have some kids, you're raising them. Do they have that same sense of innocence?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, the part of the go out and play stuff. I mean, I remember on the Saturdays and Sundays, first thing in the morning, I'm on my bike and I'm gone. I'm gone till nighttime.
Exactly.
I don't think my parents knew where I was.
Or I told my parents I'll be back for dinner, and then I would go.
I was up in Redwood City Hills, and we'd take the bikes down to the canyon to the community store, and then all the way back.
Would you let your kids do that now?
I can't pay them to get out of the house for an hour. When I tell them to go out for an hour, it's like death. They have the zombie walk outside.
I hate that. Drives me crazy.
I told them last year, I said this summer, 2020, but now this happened. I'm locking them out. I'm going to push them out the door. I'm locking the doors. Here's your bicycle. Come back when it's nighttime.
Yeah. Steve?
It's a totally different world with kids now.
Steve, where did
I cannot get used to it.
Steve, where did you grow up?
In Stratford, Ontario.
Oh, really? So you're Canadian?
All the way.
Yeah. From London, remember? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know.
Justin Bieber's hometown.
I see. And now, right now, you live where?
London, Ontario.
Oh,
you
still live? Oh, so you still live in Canada? Okay. But do you do most of your trucking here? You don't do your trucking through Canada?
Yeah, most of it in the States. Sometimes I go to Western Canada.
Mm-hmm. And there's like a reciprocity there. So if you're a trucker from Canada, you can just come right down here and do all the stuff you want to do, right?
Yeah, you just have to have your load clear customs, and that's it.
Now, do you ever pick up something here and take it somewhere else? And you can do that too, right?
Back to Canada only.
Oh, back to Canada.
You can't. A Canadian driver cannot pull an American load from one American city to another American city.
Okay.
That's called interstating.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin will know that because he's a truck driver.
So really, you just if you pick up something in California, you've got to be taking it to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't it important for you to get a load in wherever you're going to, coming back, so that you're at least getting paid for both trips?
Well, yeah, you got to pay the truck, you got to pay for fuel, so it has to make money. So They don't want to deadhead you that long.
Yeah.
That's a long way to.
And there are a lot of people who do want to send stuff up to Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Well, it's I don't know how that works. It's not in my bailiwick.
No load, no dough.
Yeah. So, Charlie, is there anything in the news that's been bugging you at all, or are you just paying attention?
Did they ever pass a stimulus today?
No.
No, they say they will. Worthless pieces of shit. What are they doing?
Well, I was talking to Bobby Slayton today, and he said they're still worthless pieces of shit, even if they pass it. He said, $600 for what?
Exactly.
What are you going to get for $600?
Exactly my point.
It doesn't even pay rent in New York City.
I listened to them for about a half hour or so today, and they all whined and bitched about, well, we're giving them $600, and then Bernie got up there and he started screaming, "We need $1,200. We need everybody to have
$1,200? That wouldn't take care of it. Okay.
No, that's far behind too. But
whining to stay over the
weekend,
weekend.
Shit done again.
Maybe even $1,200 a month wouldn't do anything.
Yeah,
no, it's
$2,000 a month.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, so
and
I
they
mean,
think that they're giving us a whole, we're going to.
Well, you know what their plan is what's going to happen. They're going to give you the $600, and you're immediately going to spend it on things at merchants and stuff in your area, and so therefore the money gets passed around within a neighborhood. But it's not going to help anybody. It's insane. It's insane. They have no idea of what how hard up people are right now, and how terrible things are.
I think $600 you could probably get a high priced hooker in San Francisco.
Yeah, maybe. But I can't think of any. If they sent me $600 or Marjorie and I $1,200, I don't know what we'd spend it on.
Another cake.
Yeah, another cake. Yeah, exactly.
More fattening food.
Anyway, I just it's amazing.
Then we're shut down as of midnight again.
What is shutting down at midnight?
California, yeah.
Oh yeah, California.
Did you get that alert on your phone today?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
what I do know is I was talking to my business manager in my home county of Marin. All the beds are filled now. They don't have any room for anybody in the hospitals.
Yeah, we have 0.0% capacity here.
Yeah.
There's 28 ICU beds in Marin, and they're all filled.
Yeah, we don't have any.
Is that amazing? Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Shut the state down.
But the car wash is open. All these other stores are open like it's normal. Everyone's just wearing a mask and everything's fine. They're limiting the indoor people, but they're not taking it seriously.
California's in bad shape right now. Terrible shape, right?
Yeah,
right.
They've left us in the dust.
Yeah, and he lives in Texas, which is the death state. Amazing.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
California's got the big numbers.
California's got the big numbers. Florida's doing pretty badly too.
Yeah, they said in the news today that we had more deaths in California than they had in the country in October.
Well, in New York, we're still fourth from the bottom. So, we're not doing terribly, but it's certainly going up, and I ain't going out. Okay? So, hey, listen, that's it. That's my big birthday show. It was about as eventful as my birthday was today. So, but girlfriend did send out for
Happy
dinner.
birthday.
Yeah, happy fucking birthday. Jeff, thank you. I appreciate it. Charlie Wallace, always good to have you here, Charlie. Brian, good having you here, as well as I love having Steve in just that truck, man. That's nicer than some people's homes. Yeah. Do you own that truck, by the way, Steve?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, okay. No, okay.
It's a company truck.
Yeah, company truck. Okay. And, of course, John Larkin from the Tenderloin. If you go out, have fun. Alan, thank you so much. We love having you here. You've been a nice addition to the show. Kevin, you're always a great addition to the show. And Ray, when I see you on the program, it makes me smile. Anyway, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give you a big wave goodbye from here. And there goes our citizen panel, folks. Let me just unceremoniously hang up on them. Okay, there they go. And I'll tell you that I will be back again. Well, on Monday, by the way, let me tell you that at 9 o'clock on Monday nights is The Exchange with Damian Chaplin. I'll be back here on Tuesday night. We're only going to do 2 shows next week because it's Christmas week, and then New Year's, we're going to be off for the whole week. But we'll see on Tuesday, same time, same station in life, 10:30 Eastern Time. And as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. And please, be careful out there and make sure you wear a mask. Good night, everybody. Have a nice weekend.